Welcome home, neighbors.
Welcome home, neighbors.
Hello, neighbors.
We're listening from
Arizona,
Florida,
Maryland, New York, New Jersey,
Minneapolis,
California,
Utah,
Michigan.
Iowa, Massachusetts,
Georgia, Canada,
Our home resort is
Animal Kingdom,
Polynesia,
Bay Lake Town,
Old Key West,
Riviera,
Boardwalk,
Alani Resort,
Boulder Ridge, Copper Creek,
Grand Floridian,
Saratoga Springs,
Beach Club.
and Wilderness Lodge.
And you're listening to
and you're listening
You're listening to my
Welcome home, neighbors, to episode 129 of Community Hall Live Podcast. My name is Chad, and I am your host tonight. And before we jump into today's show about best tips for Disney dining plan that is coming back in 2024, I want to give a huge shout out of thanks over to our sponsors at DVC Rental Store. If you are looking to save a boatload of money on your next Disney vacation, check them out, because if members have excess points they can't use, we reach out to the rental store and they find us another person who can use our points. The other thing is our points are use or lose. So if you really watch that on some guaranteed reservations, as it gets closer to check-in time, you can find some incredible deals there. On guaranteed reservations, the closer it gets to check-in, the more motivated people are to drop that price down, and you can get some smoking good deals. One of the things that I've just now figured out this last week as a pro tip for renters is if you have a cash stay booked with Disney, you can check the rental site to find a guaranteed reservation that happens to overlap some or part of your trip. Because you're paying cash, you can cancel 24 hours in advance and use those points and get a smoking good deal on a rental. So dvcrentalstore.com, let them know you heard about them here on the My DVC Points podcast, verbally when you talk to them, or select our name from the drop-down box. Now, let's jump into today's show, and we're talking all about best practices and best tips for the Disney dining plan. So I'm going to welcome two of our phenomenal travel agents here within the group, and that will be Sandy and Caleb. So,
Hey, Chad.
hey, Sandy.
How you doing tonight?
Hey, Caleb. Welcome to the show.
Oh, great to have me.
Oh, yeah, it is great to have you.
Got that flipped around. Strike that, reverse it.
It's kind of like that glad you got to see me line. So,
Yeah.
Anyways, why don't you guys give us an overview of the dining plan that's coming back in 2024?
Sure. So if you'd like, we can start off with the quick service plan, which is essentially 2 quick service meals. You've got your snack that comes with that every day, as well as your resort refillable mug. And Caleb, do you want to take it away with the Disney dining plan?
Yeah, so the quick service one is a quick service and a snack credit a day. 2 snack credits?
2 quick service.
2 quick service,
Yeah.
a snack credit, and a mug.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And do we know what the DVC member price is on that by chance?
No.
Not off the top of my head here.
Have they published it yet?
I don't think I've seen it come through, honestly. Like, I did a little bit of a search before the show today. So if any of you in the audience can just pop that into the comments, that would be great. But I did a little bit of a sleuthing this afternoon, and I couldn't find a reference to it.
I was going to say, I think that they just put on that you're going to be able to do it right through the website instead of being able to having to call it in.
Mhm.
So maybe you can do it now for anybody that has a reservation then. But I haven't personally looked just yet. But the standard dining plan, what they just call the Disney dining plan, it is 1 quick service, 1 table service, 1 snack, and then 1 resort mug.
So the big difference between what it was pre-pandemic and post-pandemic is that you used to be able to get 2 snack credits. And now, with all the complaints of everybody at the end of their trip saying, what are we going to do with all these snack credits? And I remember the times when we would be standing at a popcorn stand, like pixie dusting everybody that would walk towards it because we had so many snack credits left. They've done away with that second snack credit to make it a little bit more reasonable and to keep it within pricing.
I don't know.
And then-
I don't know how I feel about that, because it's like we used to have like 3 or 4 different deals as well, and now we're down to 2.
Yeah, and then they used to have like the deluxe one, which we did once or twice, but then you spent your entire trip just eating in restaurants, which wasn't so much fun either. So, they've really just gone with what folks were asking for and the ones that they were asking to have back. As far as pricing and stuff, I would assume that the DVC pricing would be comparable to what the general public would have if you were adding it onto a package. But for ages 10 plus, for the quick service dining plan, it would be roughly $57 per person per night stay for adults. And then for ages 3 to 9, it would be roughly 23 dollars and a bit of change per night stay. So that's what it would be for the quick service dining plan.
You
Caleb,
said
do you have numbers for
53
the
bucks.
57?
57 for a
Yeah.
quick service and 2 snacks.
Yeah, two quick services
2 quick
and
services.
one
and
snack
1 snack. Okay.
and a refillable mug.
Okay. Got it. So I'm asking the question so that everybody just has clarity.
Yeah, no,
here
it's
as well,
cool.
because I'm coming at this as somebody who has done the dining plan back when it was free before DVC,
Mhm.
but really is not really played it all that much. So Caleb, fill us in here on the top plan.
So the regular Disney dining plan, I'm looking it up right now. It looks like that it'll be $94.28 per adult, and then $26.69 for every child. And of course, that is your pricing per night. So you stay 2 nights, it's going to be two times for however many you've got in your room.
Mhm. And then just to clarify, adults, a Disney adult is considered ages 10 plus, and a Disney child is considered ages 3 to 9, and then under 3, you're free. Do you want to go into that a little bit, Caleb, but like how that works?
Well, yeah. So my daughter just recently turned 10, and this has really changed how we've done all kinds of dining, not just also, we'll get into would I get the dining plan or not, but it's also made it where like buffets and things that they are
Mhm.
charging my 10-year-old daughter the exact same price as me. And so it can play with the numbers, definitely, that you're thinking to yourself, oh, $26 for my kid, and we're going to go do these character dining. And
Yeah.
but now it's that you're going to be
Triple.
paying significantly more, double, or even in this dining plan situation, triple the price.
Yeah.
And
that
Sandy, help me if I'm wrong, but I it's been a while since I did the dining plan, especially for a long stay.
Mhm.
But prior to the shutdown, it seems to me that kind of quick services were quick services, and this plan is very, very specific. That it says that if a children's menu is available, that anybody that's a child must be ordering from the children's menu, and that even goes for
Yeah.
the quick service. So I think that's also a major difference between what it was before. And, it used to be that we could kind of split those quick services
Mhm.
and kind of spread them out. But now, if it's always going to be a kids meal, even though the kids meals are pretty big,
Yeah,
they're
they
not
are.
as big as just being able to get that quick service that's
And
adult
splitting it.
size.
Well,
Yeah.
I think people were abusing it, and they were coming back in and booking the dining plan for a room full of kids, and then getting, a table service or a quick service credit, and then using it for a full blown adult meal.
The table service credits were always, according to like, you would look at the people at the table and you would know that there was, a couple of kids, a couple of adults, and you would see the credits that were available. So it would always be based on that. But it was the quick service meals, so you could go in and you could get. They'd never they never
They
charged
wouldn't.
the
Yeah.
child's one.
And it would also allow, I mean, I was one of those abusing it. I can't, work in the system here. It would also allow you that you got an alcoholic beverage
Yeah.
with your quick service meal. And since they didn't really distinguish between adult and the kid service, kid quick service, you
Mhm.
were able to kind of get an alcoholic beverage with that quick service. It should have been actually for a child.
Mhm.
Ooh, bad plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know for a fact historically, like years back, the dining plan was really abused with that adult versus kid deal. And I'm glad to see that they're shutting down that loophole, because that just makes it fair for Disney. And
Yeah,
you want to be fair with them. You know what I'm saying?
that's it
I'm
exactly.
I want to be fair, but I want a deal. And
Mhm.
so our question then will be, ultimately, as we come through this tonight, it'll be one of our last questions. Are you in? Are you buying it? Right. But
So I wanted to just also talk about, like, a lot of folks are kind of like reticent because of the resort mug. I don't know about you guys, but every time we go down to Walt Disney World or to a Disney resort, we're always buying that mug. we always have one.
Yeah, but it's
So
like $21, $22 now, something like that, right?
right. So like throwing that in, it's not something like people are always like, oh, but I can't use it in the parks. I buy it anyways, even though I can only use it at the resort. You know what I mean? So as far as that, like I still find it's a really great value for a family.
Yeah, I mean, Universal, you can use it at the parks, so
Mhm.
it's a little better value there, in my
Yeah.
opinion. But
Well, they have both, right? They have the resort ones and the ones in the parks at
oh,
Universal, don't
okay,
they?
because I've never
Yeah.
stayed at their resorts. I
Yeah.
just know that there is a mug you can get in the parks,
Mhm.
and you
Mhm.
can reuse it as well for
It's giant too.
$10, something along those lines. Yeah, that's just kind of it as well. So okay then, and so we've got our overviews here. Two plans, one with a table service, one with quick service, and they both come with a snack, or I guess
Mhm.
one table service versus two quick service and a snack, right?
Yeah,
So
you can
one
just
table,
yeah, you
one
can
quick.
look at it that it's two meals. Both of
Yeah.
them are
Mhm.
two meals, one snack, one mug, and the only difference between the two is that the table service, one of those meals is a table service.
Yeah,
Got it.
exactly. And
Okay.
then a lot of folks are always like reticent. They're like, oh, but I don't get my breakfast, and like that sort of thing. Our family usually ends up splitting those quick service meals, like especially if it's like that bounty platter that you get for like breakfast. You get two of those instead of like four of them. You're able to feed the family and get your day going on that. Or snack credits. In the past, you were able to do like a bagel and cream cheese or like cereal and milk, lots of like breakfast items, pastries, that sort of thing. So it really wasn't that difficult to be able to feed your family on that plan, even pre-pandemic.
Got it. Got it. Well, our next topic of question is, now that we kind of have a basic understanding of this,
Mhm.
is what would be some of the best table service credits that are out there? And we really want to hear from you guys as to what you think are the best values for table service here, because we'll go through your comments, and we're also going to come through Disney Tourist Blog, because I found a good post from them as well. So, Sandy, do you have a favorite table service or best table service tips here that you're going to give?
Well, when I was doing a little bit of research for the table service, it turns out that Enzo's Hideaway is probably the best deal where you get a maximum value for one credit of $85. So that's a good value versus like some of the character dining or like, let's say, Hoop-Dee-Doo, where you have to use two credits in order to be able to partake in that experience under the dining plan. So for those ones, it might be better off to just pay out of pocket.
Yeah, is Ohana breakfast one or two?
That's an excellent question.
I
I'll tell
believe
you in
the
a second.
breakfast is still one.
Yeah, so to me, that's character dining for one table service credit.
Mhm.
That's a pretty good deal. And
And there's a couple of them that are like that, like Chef Mickey's, and yes,
yeah,
those are
but you
pretty good.
probably got to go for breakfast, right? Because all
Well,
of
with
this
Chef,
stuff changes, right? This is why we're having this conversation.
so I believe the only character breakfast that is two table service credits is, well, I said only. There are only two, I believe, character meals of any kind that are two table service credits, and that
Princesses.
is the uh, Cinderella's Royal Table
And a
and
Kershey's.
then Akershus, but
Mhm.
it's only for lunch and dinner. You can still use one table service at Akershus for
For
breakfast,
breakfast.
Okay.
but the Cinderella's Royal Table, it's all day long. All day long, it's two
And then,
credits.
yeah, I read a post as well saying that over at Wilderness Lodge, the meal where you can come back in and meet Evil Queen,
Oh
Mhm.
yes, that's a new one.
that
That
got
that
bumped up
is
to 2 credits.
that's
So
correct.
to me, those 2 credit ones, no deal, no deal, and no, not even the signatures, no deal. Getting the $85 for one $92 per day deal, that's a deal, Sandy. Now you got my attention. If I can
Yeah.
find enough of those to stack up for my vacation as well.
There you go.
And
I mean, but with that, with when you're talking about that, Sandy, I assume you're talking about that it's an adult and they're getting the most expensive item
Mhm.
on the menu. They're getting their alcoholic beverage, and that's how you're able to get up to that $85.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
overall,
does it still come with an appetizer, or did
Mhm.
that get nixed?
Some of them do. I have to look it up to see specifically which restaurants are available, but I believe that I think there's a couple of them that do come with an app. Caleb?
So I believe, right, if I'm remembering right, because it's been a little while since they introduced it and I read through
Mhm.
everything, that so in the past you used to get an appetizer and you also got a dessert, and now it's just one or the other. So you're just getting the dessert, or you're getting the app.
Yeah.
Got it. So
Unless
it's
it's
a
in
little
a
less gluttonous then.
yes, and it's also like there are some that kind of like have an appetizer. If we go back to Akershus, that one kind of they bring out a bread service that's
Yeah.
included with the entire meal. That's just part of the whole meal experience. So that's included, as well as the dessert that's included. Because Akershus kind of changed a little bit. They don't really have that buffet anymore. That little cold buffet. So, but it's a full experience, and it's more or less a 4-course meal.
Got it.
It's very good too. Like
Yes.
and it's like you can ask for you can ask for more.
Okay.
So
If
what
you would like
what
more.
I was going to say, as far as for the best table service credit, while maybe the value for a single adult might be at Enzo's Hideaway, when I'm going usually with my whole family, and
Mhm.
so that's whenever I'm definitely going to be looking at some kind of character dining. And
Mhm.
specifically, I'm going to be going to Topolino's. If I just get to choose any of them, the character dining, I'm going to get to meet those characters, and I get to have all the wonderful food at Topolino's. I don't have the number as to what that's going to be, but the experience at Topolino's, the steak, the waffles, all of that, it's just top notch for everybody. Everybody has a good time, and so that's probably the best value.
If you can
for
get
me.
Topolino's like breakfast for 1 credit, I'm in. Okay, because you got characters, you got the best.
It is.
What I think is
yeah,
the
it's
best
1
breakfast
credit.
on Disney property.
Mhm.
Yep.
Like
It's 1 credit for
I'm
breakfast,
in on
2
that
for
one,
dinner.
right? I'm definitely in on that one. Let's take a look here at what some of our like supposedly experts have to say over at a Disney Tourist blog. And so, just to scroll through their article here really fast, is they've coming back in, and he's given some general principles about character meals and all of that. But I want to get down to their list. He's saying avoid two table service credits here. 1900 Park Fair, still not back. That was on their list. And the next one would be Toledo's. Their ranking is number 10. I could see that one. I could definitely see that one. That's an expensive meal, and it would
It's
be a
1
good
credit.
value. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Number 9, Via Napoli. And maybe. I mean, I just get the pizza there, so
It's
I'm
very
like,
popular.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know if the pizza would be a good deal for me, because it's like we order one pizza and 4 or 5 people share it. And Chefs de France. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that could be a decent deal. And then the Tutto Italia, another one I could kind of see. And Ohana dinner, it's really
Yeah.
just like hit or miss, man. Back before like COVID, I would have, died on the hill defending it. Now, yeah.
Well, I had folks who just ate there not too long ago, and they loved it.
I'm pretty
So,
I'm pretty sure Tom Bricker, though, that when he's doing its value, it is just based on the cost. So it's not exactly based on how good the meal is.
Yeah. I mean, if you like Ohana, now I'm gonna have to take it upon myself to do some podcast research and book an Ohana dinner here pretty soon and head over
Sure.
there. I almost snuck in on a Twilight feast with a listener who's staying in the bungalows,
Oh, that's fun.
but I didn't make it. And then they're
Aw.
saying Chef Mickey dinner is on his list as well. Now I thought
Yeah.
is that
That's a
one
good credit.
credit or two
Yep,
credits?
it's one.
It's
It's
one.
one.
Mhm.
Okay.
Basically, if you have a princess at your meal, it's 2 credits
Okay.
for character dining. It's a rule
Yeah.
of thumb.
Okay, yeah, Chef Mickey, and then San Angelo,
San Angeline.
yes,
Mhm.
and I could possibly see that one. That's a pretty nice place.
Mhm.
As being a decent value. I didn't hate the food there, and now Mickey's seasonal dine at Hollywood and Vine, the
That's a
Fantasmic
good
dinner
one.
package. Ooh, if you can get the dinner package on a
Actually,
table
Caleb,
credit.
This is true.
I didn't notice. Did you? I tried to research that, but I haven't seen like anything talking about whether or not those dining packages are included. I did notice, like for all the like the Eat to the Beats and the Garden Festival and all that fun stuff going on that they were. And that it was
I
two
didn't
credits.
see anything that kind of contradicted that they would not. And I feel
Yeah.
like that we probably would have seen something that said that the Fantasmic dining package are no longer included. So, bringing that to the front of my memory, that is actually a great value, being able to get
Mhm.
any of the Fantasmic dining,
'Cause it's especially at Hollywood and Vine though, because you get the character meal and you get Fantasmic seating, and it's only 1 credit perhaps, who knows? But,
Mhm. Yeah.
I haven't seen anything come through for that yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Teppen Ito, which I have
Mhm.
still not
That's a
been
great
to
one.
because I'm just not a fan of like those Japanese style
They're
steakhouses.
so
And
fun, and the
I
food's
think
delicious
my
there.
first date with Laura, we went to one and I got sick.
Oh,
And,
no.
apparently I didn't like blow things too bad with her, but yeah, 20 some odd years ago. And I don't know that I've been to one since.
Aw.
But yeah,
Well, that one's excellent, so it's a good one to start with, to start back up
that one's
again with.
definitely excellent as well. Let's come over to some of our listener comments as well for best table service credit. And let me scroll back up here. And of course, David Kluver says Boma, Boma, Boma. And if you guys don't know, Dave would pay $1,000 a plate for Boma and still be happy. So I'm like, yeah, he's going to say that that's a great deal. And then Jared is saying California Grill, Flying Fish, Yachtsman are worth the 2 credits.
That's a good perspective.
So I think, I mean, they are good. I haven't been to California Grill since they went to the prefix menu, but those are all good. But I think when we're saying that, in general, the 2 credits is not worth it. If you just look at how much you're paying, if you were to pay out of pocket versus what you can get with those 2 credits, that's where we say it's not worth it. Now, if you're sitting around and you got 2 credits to burn, then absolutely, I wouldn't,
Hook me up,
Yeah.
See, my thing is
Bon appetit.
if I'm doing like the Disney dining plan, I'll maybe like splurge on 1 or 2 of those meals, like just so that we can have a really great experience, and then maybe on other nights do a quick service instead, out of pocket. Kind of work it that way instead.
Yeah. Tommy is sitting here saying for him, it's a character meal for 1 credit, and his pick would be Topolino's breakfast. And somebody else is backing him up as well. I think the character meals for 1 credit are the best value. And David's just saying, I'm in. And yes,
I think that was, I think that the I'm in was about the Twilight dinner. Ohana Twilight.
Oh, the Twilight
Feast.
dinner. Yeah, we're going to pull that off at some point in time as well. So now let's shift over here to quick service. And what do you guys think are some of the best quick service, or what's some of your rules around quick service? It's going to be a little bit less because
Rules around quick service.
Yeah, there's going to be a little less variety here. You know what I'm saying? It's like you've got a wider gamut for them, like character meals versus not. Well, there is no character meal quick services. So do you guys have any like guiding principles here?
Good food?
Yeah. So I would say that, for anybody, for an adult, now that you have to look at this, for an adult, if you are looking for the best value of just like how much money can I save by using this, then you're going to be looking at somewhere that you're going to be able to get an alcoholic beverage. And so by being able to get, even at breakfast, you can use it for quick service. Like if you are going to Captain Cook's, you go down the quick service and they say, what's your beverage going to be? You can get a can of beer out of the fridge there, take it back to your room and you can have it later or have it with breakfast. It's Disney, no judgment.
We're not judging.
Yeah, no judgment. But
look at Chad's face. Chad is slightly judging that comment.
Hey, it's vacation. But
I am known to have a mimosa with breakfast. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
I was just thinking, I mean, Old Key West, the Bloody Mary over there at Goods. I guess you could get it at Goods to go.
Yeah,
maybe.
that's a meal. Yeah.
I don't know if they would serve that there. I know it's served right around the corner at Gurgling Suitcase and also in Olivia's, but they're a table service.
No, unfortunately, it is not. But I would say that something like that is going to be one of the guiding principles. But there are some good ones. Geyser Point is one that you can get definitely a lot of value out because, I mean, it's almost like a table service, being at Geyser Point. Yep, there you go. So Jared's
Geyser Point followed
Jared's
by Geyser Point. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Gina
My
says,
vote would be
yes, Jared, Geyser Point.
Yeah,
It's-
my vote would definitely be Polite Pig.
Ooh. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's a quasi table service, quasi quick service. It's kind of a
It
blend, in
counts
my
as a
opinion.
quick service.
But it counts as a quick service. So yeah. That's good. That's good. So okay, Sandy, any of your final thoughts here on quick service before we come over and check out our next Disney food blog post on
Um,
this topic?
Most of the time, we tend to share quick service meals because we find like the quantity of food is pretty big by our standards from back here. So I always find it's a great value, even if you're just on that quick service plan to plan out your meals a little bit in advance so that you can know where you're going to be headed on any given day in any given park
Got it.
to benefit from that.
Yeah, I think the alcohol is a good tip as well. And let's come back in and let's take a peek at what Disney Food Blog is saying here. And so they're ranking their number one. I guess they're doing these in a different order, but Docking Bay 7 would be the food and cargo over at Galaxy's Edge. Would be one of their best values for the quick service. And
I
it's
like
decent.
eating there. Not everybody does though.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta love that yib nib or whatever it is.
Mhm.
I can't
Yip tip.
remember some of the
Yeah,
yip
yip
tips,
tip.
right? Okay. And then the pontoon beef. And number 2, I did not think of this one, but they are oh so right. The Yak and Yeti local food service cafes. That rice and those egg rolls there, yum, 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 yum. So you had me on quality alone. Okay. I'm not even looking at the finance, but you had me on quality, right? Next up on the list, La Cantina de San Angelo.
Oh yes, that's one of my favorites when I would use quick service. And again, it's like it's good food, but also I mean like you're able to get a margarita, and that's like $14. I mean that's a
Yeah.
great value.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah. I'm in. Okay. Sandy, here you go. The Polite Pig made the
There
list.
you go.
So yeah, you're just flexing your expertise here now. Almost like you do this professionally or something. And let's see, number 5, Satuli Canteen.
That's a great one.
That's a really good one.
I don't know about pricing because I only just get the cheeseburger pods there. Like,
Oh, but the
so-
bowls are delicious. And like if you like that sort of thing, that fresh kind of, rice / quinoa, whatever they've got going on with tofu and chicken and beef and all that fun stuff. It's a really great value for a healthy meal. So yeah.
I'm down with it. I mean, I just introduced some brand new people who hate any kind of seasoning to the cheeseburger steam pods this last weekend, and they loved it. I think you can't go wrong there.
Yeah, the bowls. I was just looking at it. The bowl itself, the combination bowl is almost $18.
Yeah.
So I mean, definitely a good value. Even if you're getting one of the vegetarian bowls, it's still $13-14 just for the bowl, plus you get your drink.
And Flame Tree Barbecue. Geez, if you get that half chicken, you can feed an entire army with that thing.
Or the ribs. I think the ribs there would be a pretty decent deal as well.
Yeah.
Just a Canadian army,
Yeah. Well, I mean, $18.99 for the St. Louis rib dinner. You're
True.
getting, you're striking some value here,
For
especially
sure.
if you can throw in an alcoholic beverage.
Do they still do that clementine drink there? We didn't order it last time we were there, but they used to have this delicious clementine drink. You used to be able to get it spiked.
Got it. I don't know because I tend to avoid that place because every time I go to order there, I get drowned out by the musicians behind me, and you can't have a communication. You can't talk to the people, so I just don't order it. But
Now you've got me intrigued. I'm gonna have to look it up on the menu on the mobile order to see if it's actually there or not.
got it. And Connections Eatery made the list, and I will say that is a very tasty. The French burger there is really good. And then you follow it up with that waffle for your dessert item. I'm in. Like, yeah, okay. I'm ABC Commissary.
Yeah, it makes it on price. It's, I mean, below average food, but the cost at ABC Commissary is pretty high.
Yeah, but $12.99 for a sandwich. I mean, we should be able to get something better than $12.99. Come on now. I mean, the street tacos there are pretty decent, but they do have that watermelon margarita. Yes. Okay. And then Regal Eagle Smokehouse. I'm seeing
Oh, that's a
three
good
barbecue
value.
places on
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
list.
Well, because I guess it's just filling. It's you don't feel like you feel like you've eaten well.
Yeah.
And you can definitely get the alcohol there too. So.
Mm-hmm.
And then moving on, number 10, Harambe Market at Disney's Animal Kingdom.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever, maybe I've ate there once or twice.
That corn is like so yummy.
But yeah, let's see what they're saying. Is a chicken and ribs bowl for $14.99? Okay, maybe. Let's
I always just go get the corn.
Yeah.
And I'm on my way.
Yeah.
It's like the pit stop for the snack, like
Yeah.
right after you get off of Kilimanjaro Safari.
And
No, I'm not seeing that.
Columbia Harbor House made the list.
Mhm.
And that's for like the lobster roll or the New England shrimp boil. Okay. I can see the price value there. I kind
The
of
salmon
like
is
Pecos
always really
Bills
tasty
better,
there
but
too.
Sunshine Seasons has some
Mhm.
salmon option that I love. And I think now we're getting into like normal price range stuff.
Yeah.
And then honorable mentions. Okay, the pulled pork nachos over at
Pauline.
Captain Cook's, right?
Mhm.
And these look like they're from Roaring Fork, which I didn't know they had pulled pork nachos there.
I'm guessing they don't have the pineapple on them.
Yeah. Brisket and burnt ends, shrimp bowl.
I think,
meatloaf.
I think they really missed the mark because they don't
Yeah.
have Geyser Point on here.
Yeah. No Geyser Point. So, yeah, sorry, DFB. We're going to see what our community says here and see how many points our community gives you as well here. So they missed Geyser Point, and it looks like Jared is backing them up that Columbia Harbor House is great food. And then we've got Kathy is saying the quick service restaurants at Disney Springs, some have some of their casual favorite dinners. Earl
true.
Sandwich, great food. It's like $7-8 a sandwich though. I don't know that it's gonna pull the value that I'm looking for. Chicken Guy, you could definitely do that if you could get the sauce mac and cheese or the Boss mac and cheese. Add-on Polite Pig made the list, and then Deluxe Burger as well. And then Tommy's saying Geyser Point for the win. So we've got so many votes for Geyser Point. DFB, what are you guys talking about? Like,
I'm doing a quick search though, and I don't know if it's there.
Oh, it's not an eligible meal?
Yeah.
Oh.
So maybe not. Maybe we'll put an asterisk on that one, and we'll have to get back to people in the show notes. Does that sound good?
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely have to.
I'm thinking
put
that's
that one
maybe
in.
why it's not there because I'm.
And the show notes will be available at mydvcpoints.com/C129. And you can do the episode number for any of our shows. Just C for Community Hall, N for Newscast, or no alphabet for the traditional Mighty VC Points podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So a little shout out there to you guys to teach you a little of our method to the madness. So let's move over to snack credits as well. And then we'll follow that up with a quick conversation about Moonlight Magic. So best snack credits that are out there. Here I'm like, I don't know what kind of rules we would say.
I know.
Snack credits are just kind of all over the place, and you either like the snacks or you don't. And most people have their favorite snack. So I think that's going to give you the best value is going with your go-to jam snack.
Like, I'm not using it on popcorn because I'm just going to get a bucket and we're going to refill it for like next to nothing. So forget that. That's not it. I mean, do you go with like a whole Dole Whip float type thing, which is a little bit more pricey like that? I feel like that's where I would go with that snack credit as the best value for my taste buds, at least.
If you could get something like a milkshake that was made or something like that.
Like those PB&J milkshakes, those are so yummy.
So, let's see. I'd have to really think because those little snack credit things have been sitting on the menus, but since the dining plan has been gone for so long, it's like I just kind of blocked them out and weren't really looking at them. But some of the festival food, you can have some snack credits on there, and they can get pretty pricey. So really, when you're talking about value on it, it's kind of like anything that's like over $5 is really going to be a high
Yeah.
value on your snacks. And so again, some of those festival food. Now, me personally, again, I don't know if they still do it, but they used to have in France at the ice cream shop, the macaroon sandwich, like
They're
ice
so
cream
good.
sandwich, like
Mm.
that was a snack. And I
Yes.
think that new brioche, stuffed brioche, toasted brioche, with the ice cream inside of it, that if I remember from June, I think it had a snack credit listed beside it on the menu. So
Yeah.
those would be ones, because getting some kind of specialty ice cream like that. Or we also used to really love, I guess we like desserts. We also used to really like the funnel cake that they would put the ice cream on top of it. That was
Like
at
a Sleepy Hollow?
the snack. Yeah, I think Sleepy Hollow did it, but
Mhm.
also where we would always get it would be at that little snack cart that's right beside the Indiana Jones stunt show.
Yes.
They would do it there.
Yeah.
But savory, I'm going over to Flame Tree Barbecue, and they usually have their mac and cheese with pulled pork on it or something like that.
Yeah. So the snack credits are actually a value of $6.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
So trying to get
Okay.
over $6.
So that's what our panel here has kind of said. Let's come back in and go back over to our friend Tom Bricker at Disney Tourist Blog, and we'll bring him into the stream and see what he's got to say. Hi, Disney
Tom.
snack credits, right? And yeah, we'll judge him by his post here, but
Yeah.
we'll use it as a reference and to guide our conversation here. So he's saying that this is the best. And then, of course, he's going to have some beautiful photos for us. And I'm just going to scroll through him. And he's saying some Epcot festivals have $10 or higher snack items. So those might be a pretty good value as well. And then, we're seeing Pongu Pongu for like Night Blossoms. And
Those are so good.
yeah, I don't even know what that snack is. Oh, that's Salt and
It's
Straw.
the drink.
Yeah, that's the new ice cream over at Salt and Straw. I have not been there. I've been to the Disneyland version, but not ours yet. And
Your
then
favorite.
Zebra Domes, which if I come back in here to the comments, our buddy Dave is throwing out there. So he called that one. And funnel cakes. I wouldn't have rated those that high, but I guess so.
They're not my jam.
Yeah. Yeah. Animal Kingdom savory snack stands. Animal Kingdom upping the game. We'll come back to this topic a little bit later here. But for those of you who are going to the Moonlight Magic, maybe we'll just go there now because it's on the screen.
Yeah, sure.
If you're going to Moonlight Magic, you're going to get snack credit vouchers. You're going to get 3 of them. And so you really want to pay attention to some of the awesome snacks that are there. For me, it was a 92-degree day in July, and I didn't care what the snacks were. I needed beverage. I needed something to drink. And they have quit giving out the free bottles at Moonlight Magic. So now you just have to redeem a snack credit for them. So 2 of mine went to Body Armor Light.
So would the Drinkwalla rum and coke slushies count towards that or not?
I don't think the rum and coke would, but definitely I used one of them as a slushie at Drinkwalla. I
love that.
But it's they've upped their game so much that everybody was there. And if you walked outside the restaurants at Moonlight Magic, they also had little shaker boards almost saying, hey, just so you know, if you're looking for snack credits, here's our little special snack credit thing for tonight that you can use this on. And pay attention to those because there were some really tasty things there and some special treats and good values as well. But the longest lines at Moonlight Magic, outside of the free games, because it was Animal Kingdom, and I don't know if most people are like me, but I don't let my kids play those games when I got to pay for them. But hey, if it's free at Moonlight Magic, yes, I'll agree to it. But then you get over there and the line is, 80 kids deep. And you're like, yeah, no. But the next longest lines in the place were all the snack credit vendors. And every single person was open. I mean, they had their game going. They were ready to take some vouchers in and do all of that. But they were still overwhelmed with demand.
So what was your favorite out of the ones that you did sample?
Well, it's really hard because I did 2 body armors and then a slushie. because I was so incredibly thirsty and dehydrated from all of the heat and the sweat and everything else.
Yeah.
Because I think I got there at like 5 something that day,
Okay.
which I don't
Oof.
normally like to get to a theme park that early.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, 7:30,
Yeah.
8 o'clock. That's when I like to roll in now that I'm local. And
What
that's
about
just,
the rest of the fam? Did they have a favorite?
they really wanted the fries. There was like
Okay.
by Animal Kingdom, there was a fry booth, and then they had to come back in and decide: do we want the French fries or do we want to ride Flight of Passage a second time and Everest a second time? And they voted for the second rides. So that's what they did with that.
Were like the mac and cheeses on there at all? I could see that being
Yeah,
a good
the mac
option.
and cheeses were on some of the menu
Yeah.
boards, and there were some like I want to say there were some like pulled pork snacks over at Flame Tree,
Cool.
and it was DVC has completely upped their game.
Good.
And all of the feedback that we gave them from 2022, they made notes and they fixed it. So
That's great.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
this sounds so much better from whenever I was there in March of 2022,
Mhm.
and it was at Epcot, and it was just a disaster, and
Yeah.
I ended up getting nothing. And
Oh.
then we got lucky again with June of 2022 at Hollywood Studios, and it was better, but still had some issues. So hearing this and feedback from other members that were there, it's been a really great to hear that they're getting better and getting it all organized.
Yeah. As Gina points out, always get food first at Moonlight Magic. But the good news is now on the back of your deals, if you pay attention, there's a closing schedule, and restaurants are grouped by closing time.
That's
So
great.
you can see exactly what snack credits are closing when, and some of them were open all the way till closing.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if they were easier ones like drink stands or things along those lines.
Yeah.
But you could definitely see who was closing and when, and there should have been no confusion. And it was very clear who's taking it. You'd get there, they'd have their special menus out. If it had the DDP little logo on it, you were good. So yeah, kudos to DVC, man. It's okay, but and enough of chasing that rabbit on Moonlight Magic and snack credits, because I'm just trying to get everybody hungry for their next Moonlight Magic event. But let's move back over and finish this conversation at snack credits. Our buddy Tom has got the Animal Kingdom savory ones listed. And at number 7, Epcot Bakeries for snacking around the world. Okay. Kringle Bakery. Yeah, maybe.
For the school bread.
Yeah, the school bread. And I think we had this, somebody mentioned this earlier, Caleb homemade ice cream cookie sandwiches. That definitely made his list. And then blue or green milk.
There you go.
Yeah, no. I'm like,
I love how like at Disneyland they cycle through like different versions of them. Have you noticed that?
mm-mm.
Yeah, it's cool. Sometimes they'll have them like spicy. Sometimes they'll have them with like cereal in them. It's fun.
And then we'll pick this up as well, because after this is all of the Magic Kingdom floats and swirls, Sandy, that you had mentioned, are definitely coming out here making the list. And
Those are my faves, like in the afternoon. You know, like
yeah, because those are like $7 each or more. They're up there, so you're getting a decent value with that. And then gourmet cupcakes, easily $7 each at Disney.
Milkshakes, just like you said.
Yep, novelty drinks, and as we cover our guide to Starbucks, or every specialty drink in the list, and it looks like David Kluver picked up that one with Starbucks for value, and that would be a really good use of a credit there.
I'm like a drip coffee person, so it's not a good use for me.
Yeah. And then we covered this as well. So Shauna brought it up as well. Loves using snack credits for food and wine. And that's what they're saying is some of the best values that are out there. Because some of those can definitely run $10 as well. To come back in and look at this. Gina says, I love them for the Canadian fillets. Andy
Hey,
is saying,
so
Epcot food festivals.
Sandy, have you heard if they're gonna still allow for the quick service to be converted to 3 snack credits if you're buying it simultaneously?
I did a little bit of a search for that and I didn't notice it written anywhere. So I think
Yeah.
as we approach the dates when, it'll become active, that they'll have more details on how it can be used.
Yeah.
But
I
for
just thought,
now,
I know a
think-
lot of people did that with the fillets during Food and Wine, that they would use a quick service to get 3 of them. But I'm not 100% sure if we're still going to be able to do that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of does, Tom. Let's circle back into some more listener comments here as well. And let's see. I think we've got those. And Vicky is saying she agrees. Starbucks is how she would use them. And then Kathy is saying any fancy cupcake would really suit the bill here as well.
For sure.
And I can definitely see those as well. So I think that's it for kind of our list. And you're going to want to pay attention to this if you're going to any Moonlight Magic, because that's definitely the way they're doing it here at Disney World. It's all about the dining plan and snack credits and what you want to redeem them for. You can use them on a Mickey bar, and I think my kids did some of them at the non-free carts. They traded in a snack coupon for it, but there was definitely 2 carts at Animal Kingdom. You just got to look on the map for that as well if you're going to trade. If you're just going to get the free Mickey bars that don't require a credit. And this year at the free ones, they were giving away ice cream sandwiches as well, which was a nice little surprise because before it was either Mickey bar or strawberry fruit bar.
See, if I have the choice between Mickey bar and the sandwich, I'm sandwich all the way.
Well, that's what I buy when I'm in the parks. But the only time I eat a Mickey bar is when they're free at Moonlight Magic. That's kind of my rule.
Or if they're at Costco here, because they finally got them at Costco here, which I'm like super excited. We went to
but
a
if
box.
they're anything like the U.S. versions, they're itty bitty Mickey bars. They're not like
No, they're like this big, and like the chocolate's better actually. I would say. I'm allowed to say that.
Sounds like I'm gonna have to make a run to my Canadian neighbors as well and go check that out. So, okay, well, any other final comments or any other plugs that you guys want to do for how people could post if they wanted to, pick your guys' brains a little bit more, or travel services or anything along those lines?
Yeah, for sure. You can find me at Experience Magical Adventures. That's the agency that I'm with. And if you need to email me, it's sandy@experiencemagicaladventures.com. We have a Facebook page as well as an Instagram account. So you can find me there. And I'm always in the group. So you can also just send me a DM to my regular Facebook account as well. And you, Caleb?
Yeah. So, our agency is Pixie Path Travels. And so you can, fill out a contact form at pixiepahtravels.com, or you can email at info@pixiepahtravels.com. And then just like Sandy, I'm always hanging around at the My DVC Points group. Also in any of the resort specific groups. I'm in all of those that are kind of sponsored by.
You guys are both moderators as well.
Yeah, we are.
Yep, we are. So, you can definitely just send me a DM and we can talk about it. I love talking Disney. Sometimes I get paid for it and sometimes I don't.
Yeah. Well, I definitely want to give you guys a huge shout out and do some promotion for your services as well. Push the envelope there if I can. We historically haven't done that too much because we're really about serving people here. But at the same point in time, you guys do need to feed your families. And that's one way you can do it. Yeah, we love you guys. We thank you for your services, and we thank everybody for tuning in. Huge shout out of thanks to our Season 10 sponsors, which would be DVC Resale Market, DVC Rental Store, and Monera Financial. We thank them for their continued support going forward through Season 10 and 11. And we want to do a huge shout out of thanks to all of our Patreons as well. If you want to come back in and hang out with us some, you can head over to mydvcpoints.com/events, and you'll start to see some of our upcoming events, including some Patreon exclusive events. And I did get a little pushback on that about the Patreon exclusivity part. Look, Patreon starts at $7.50 a month. Join for the time you sign up until October and cancel after that. I'm good with it, but that is kind of what I had to do to get him at the time, and the back end of the agreements and arrangements that I did, and I'm kind of not backing down from that. But mydvcpoints.com/events. We've got some great stuff coming, and thanks for tuning in, everybody. We will see you next week. Have a great one. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, please watch your head and step as you exit, and take small children by the hand.
Aw, chill up, Dad. You know I'll come back. With DVC.
My DVC Points is an unofficial Disney-inspired podcast created by fans of Disney Vacation Club. The thoughts expressed in this podcast are personal opinions and personal experiences. My DVC Points is not affiliated with Disney Vacation Club, the Walt Disney Companies, or any subsidiaries. We encourage listeners to contact their DVC guide or member services for official DVC policies.